good evening, everyone. I'd like to bring this meeting to order for the Town of Brunswick Planning Board for November 2nd, 2023, which will also include a public hearing to commence at 7 p.m. At this time, I'd like to have everybody rise to the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Okay, our agenda this evening, as it was posted on the town website and the town board, is as follows. Golden Grain Pizza site plan. Applicant seeks to redevelop an existing building into a pizza restaurant at 585 Hoosick Road. Public hearing to commence at 7 p.m. Zephyr Hawk is the applicant. Number 2, Nano Pato, request for zone amendment referral from the town board on a petition seeking a zoning amendment for property located at 291 Oakwood Avenue. Nano Pato LLC is the petitioner. As I previously stated, there is a public hearing for the Golden Grain Pizza site plan, and we will start the public hearing. The procedure for the public hearing is as follows. The purpose of the public hearing is to hear concerns, comments, and views from the public regarding a particular proposal or application. All public hearings are electronically recorded, and a written record of proceedings is generated. In most cases, this written record is included with the minutes of the planning board regular meeting, which will usually be conducted immediately after the public hearing. The applicant will be required to respond to all concerns and comments made at the public hearing, and subsequently the planning board will consider all these comments and concerns when evaluating the application to ensure that the applicant has addressed all the issues in question. The public hearing will be conducted as follows. The notice of public hearing will be read by the planning board attorney. Next, the applicant will give a brief presentation on the proposal and provide any updates on the application. Upon completion of the applicant's remarks, the chairman of the planning board will recognize persons from the public, and these individuals will be allowed to speak and offer their concerns, comments, and views. Since these proceedings of the public hearing are electronically recorded, it is requested that all speakers come up to the podium, use the microphone, and give their name and address for the record. Okay, at this time, I will have the planning board attorney, Andrew Gilchrist, read the notice of public hearing.
Notice of public hearing. Notice is hereby given that a public hearing will be held by the planning board of the town of Brunswick at 7 p.m. on Thursday, November 2, 2023, at the Brunswick Town Hall, 336 Town Office Road, Brunswick, New York, 12180, to review a site plan application submitted by Zephyr Hawk to redevelop an existing building into a pizza restaurant on property located at 585 Hoosick Road. Copies of the application and supporting documents are available at the Brunswick Town Hall and are available for public inspection during regular business hours. All interested persons will be heard at the public hearing. This notice was published in the Eastwood Press, placed on the town signboard, posted on the town website, and mailed to owners of all properties located within 300 feet of the project site.
Thank you. And now, if the applicant would come up and give a brief presentation, and please address your remarks to the audience.
Good evening, Nick Costa from Advanced Engineering and Surveying, and here with me tonight is the applicant, Zephyr Hawk, and we'll be making a presentation of the proposal from Ms. Rock to convert the vacant building to a pizza restaurant. You want me to?
Yeah, just kind of switch it so that if anybody wishes to come up, they can look at it.
Did everybody see the exhibit? So, this is, an aerial photo that shows the existing conditions, of the former Roxy Cleaners that's located at the corner of Hoosick Street and Oneida Avenue. The mobile station is here. The Sunoco station is also located here. And Mr. Rock is proposing to convert the existing building to a pizza restaurant. In addition to the pizza restaurant, there also will be a parking area located on Oneida Avenue that will support the proposed restaurant. This is a little closer view of what is being proposed, the existing building, the parking area in the front, and then the parking lot in Oneida Avenue. This is a rendering of the building changes that will be made to the facade. And there'll be an outdoor area here to have dining during the good weather on the outside. These are some elevations of the proposed building. It shows colors and material. And again, another view of the building. And this is the interior floor plan of the seating and the kitchen area, and the interior mechanical rooms and storage areas. So that's the proposal. I apologize for having my back to you.
No, that's okay. That's,
And if there are any questions, Mr. Rock and myself would be more than happy to try to answer those.
okay. Thank you, Mr. Costa. The remarks should be addressed to the applicant, any comments, so forth and so on. If there's a question procedurally, we can answer that as the board, but this is the applicant addressing any questions, comments that the public may have. So at this time, I will open up the floor to anyone who wishes to come up, make any comments, have any questions. Just not, just one up.
Hi, my name is Marcia Pini, and I live within the 300 radius of this golden drainage. So my question first is, what are going to be your business hours?
They're planning to be 10 a.m. to 10 p.m.
Okay. And for the parking here, this house here is mine, so there's no like barrier here right now, so I'm concerned about people being able to just walk into the property from there.
There is a stockade fence back here, and this area is much lower. So, there'll be a slope that, will be, that they will have to navigate to get across, So this area is much lower than going to your house. There's a big ridge back here.
Right, but like on the corner here, it's like more of a slope than it's not even, it's just a slight incline.
Yeah, but this is gonna be lower because it has to be a flatter area to be able to park vehicles. So there'll be a substantial elevation difference between the parking and over these areas. I understand what you're saying, that this garage is kind of tucked into the topography. It's not.
Is this a garage right here?
Yeah, that's a garage.
So
The
it's just
existing
moving
garage.
over,
Yeah, it'll be closer to the gas station. It'll be right behind the gas station.
Hello. Hi, Christy Fraunhofer, 72 Oneida Ave. I'm about 4 doors down from there, and I have 3 questions. The first one's from a neighbor who couldn't come, but we also share the concern. We're worried about the chemicals that are in Roxy Cleaner now. Is there an agency that comes in and remediates that? We know that there's been other Roxy cleaners that have had the cancer-causing chemicals. And so we were just wondering how that would be removed in a safe way. And is there anyone who supervises that? EPA, I'm not sure.
Yeah, so there are nothing in the building.
Okay.
The building is vacant.
Right, I understand it's not been in business in a while, but we were wondering if there were any, some of them had, some of the Roxy cleaners had wells left, but that had they were retaining the chemicals. So we were just making sure that that was going to be removed in a safe fashion for the environment and for,
Yeah, so there are no wells.
there are none in this current one?
At this
Okay.
location. There
We
are
knew
no-
it was a Roxy cleaner
Yes,
issue.
I understand that.
Okay,
But there are no wells, there are no reported spills that have occurred at
Okay.
this location.
okay,
So there's nothing that has a history that there's been spills of chemicals at this location.
okay, that's good to know. We're also worried about the safety of the pedestrians, especially when it's dark, going back and forth from the parking lot to the restaurant.
Right.
Because we see people zipping in really fast to try and get into the gas station. And I understand that the parking lot would be past the gas station.
Yes, that's right.
Right, so we're just making sure that there wouldn't be, and traffic trying to come in and out. So this kind of leads into my third question. We were wondering, a few of our neighbors, if there is any way to close off Oneida Ave at Hoosick Street. Honestly, as neighbors, we can't get in and out of it anyway. We have to go either through the light at Lord or out at Freer Park. And we are worried about, we know that people are not gonna be able to easily access the restaurant. The Hoosick Street's a mess, and we are afraid that the traffic is going to go through our neighborhood. And as you know, we already have a massive overflow traffic problem in Oneida, Genesee. So we're really looking to not have that exasperated anymore. So one of the neighbors had brought up the idea, which I think is a great idea, because we really can't get in, and there are a lot of access roads. This would make it safer for you and the pedestrians to get across if there wasn't access, it would just be Hoosick Street access. Also, we were worried about too, how are the supply trucks going to be coming in, because they can't come in through the neighborhood? Would they just be accessing the back of the restaurant through Hoosick Street, and how would they be able to turn around?
Let me respond to your question one at a time, okay?
Thank you.
So you asked about the pedestrian. We are going to put signage that pedestrians are crossing. We're going to construct this sidewalk here. It'll bring them over to the existing sidewalk
Okay,
so that they can gain access to the restaurant.
okay,
Okay, so there'll be signs on both sides of this driveway, alerting drivers, going in and out of pedestrian crossings.
right,
Okay? And there will be a new sidewalk that will be installed on this route to gain access to here.
okay.
As far as your suggestion to close off Oneida Avenue, I think that I spoke to the board previously, and I'm highly recommending it.
Oh, great, okay.
And then with regards to the traffic for deliveries, just like you mentioned, that deliveries would be made during regular hours, during operational hours.
They would or would not
They
be?
would not. No, I'm not
Okay.
saying they're going to be at 6 o'clock in the morning, but Mr. Rock said it's 10 o'clock, they may deliver at 9 o'clock.
Okay,
So you wouldn't have the traffic that you have to deal with during the peak hours.
right.
So,
Okay.
that's, I think, as far as closing off Oneida Avenue, I don't know who you'd have to take that up with.
We do, but we were just wondering how that would work. Yeah, we're worried a little bit too about the light pollution. we have a lot of wildlife up in that hilly wooded area, and 10 o'clock is a little late, so we were kind of, and I know that you want it lit well so that the pedestrians crossing back and forth would be safe and have safe passage through there. But honestly, what our major concern is we do not want to see the traffic coming through the neighborhood. We're struggling as a neighborhood for years now, trying to, and just, not that we're opposed, we're just opposed to the traffic that it may inspire, because we know Hoosick is real tough.
So, the entrance to the restaurant is from here.
Right,
So whomever comes over, they would have to go out to Hoosick Street and then get over to this side and get in here, which is a pretty difficult movement, as we all know.
yeah,
Having lived on Oneida Avenue and experienced that, that's not making a right is one thing, making a left and then making another right, it's not that easy.
right. Okay, so there would be no access from Oneida Ave to the restaurant. You would only be able to access it,
From
Okay.
Hoosick Street.
but the parking lot too.
Well, this right here, this parking lot, people would access it,
Right.
from here. But as far as accessing the front of it, you would always have to come
Right.
through the front.
Okay.
So that, that takes care of that. So, again, as far as closing that off, I don't know, it would be involved with the fire safety, those folks.
Right,
I mentioned that, I have family that drives this road just as much as you do, and you're a target. Whenever you're parked right here, you're a target, because people come off of here and they don't even see you.
they try and cut into the gas
Yeah,
station
they-
and we
they-
always
they do.
almost,
They
yeah,
do.
I don't go that way often. Right.
That's a very dangerous move.
Okay, thank you very much.
One thing most of our customers would be using this parking lot. I have a couple locations, I've been
Okay.
counting anywhere park 10 to 15 cars. There are about, how many, more than 15 here.
No, this is eight parking spaces.
Eight.
Yeah.
And
And we're gonna have 6
Yeah.
on that side.
so mostly this will be used by, employee coming in the morning and leaving their car. I don't
Okay.
think most customers would prefer to park right here. This is like
Overflow.
anywhere overflow.
Okay,
Most likely.
yeah, feel better if it's employee parking because it's people that are,
Mostly,
Yeah.
people would come in the morning, park their car and close it and leave that. Right. Yeah.
thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks for your comments.
I'm sorry, one more question. For the overflow parking, like how many parking spots do you anticipate?
There's gonna be, there's 6 shown here, we're maybe looking at 8, because there's 4 on this side, and there's been a suggestion made to make this also a 4 and 4, so it would be a total of 8. And there will be lighting here, below the lighting will be, what we refer to as shoebox type lighting, where, the lighting, it's not an articulating light, it's a fixed head lighting that only throws light toward down. We also did a lighting analysis that the town engineer will be reviewing, and we make sure that the lighting doesn't spill over outside of the property.
Is there anyone else wish to come up and make any comments, have any questions? All right, once more.
I'm sorry, when do you anticipate starting?
Most likely it's during the spring,
Yeah.
the construction takes place, and I think right now, coming up from the woods, we're seeing that moving. If I was a neighbor that lived there, just really, it's not welcoming. We had similar situation on Walpole after what we did on the corner, that a lot of neighbors in that came and came to us, and we made improve our neighborhoods, made beautiful house. I think this will be, and if you have a time, go look at any of our location on Wolf Road or East Greenbush. Anyone would come in would say they have never seen anything like it. It's just really pleasant, very beautiful. You coming in, it's like a Starbucks kind of something new that we are, and it's local. It's not a chain that's coming from us, and I will be always there with working with us and with any concern. So, no, thank you.
Okay, anyone else wish to come up and make any comments? I would have to assume that any questions that anybody had were answered by the other people that came up, so. Once more, I'll ask again, is there anyone who wishes to come up and make any comments on this application? Have any questions, concerns? Okay, at this time, then I will close the public hearing. I'll make a motion to close it. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Are there any questions regarding extended replies or anything like that, or comments from by mail or anything like that? Does anyone feel that that's necessary? Okay, then the motion stands as it is. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. You're welcome to stay if people to make comments, because we're going to be talking about them in our first item on our agenda. Our first responsibility at a meeting is to review the minutes of our past meeting of October 5th. Are there any corrections, additions, or amendments to the minutes?
Rusty is October 19th. Did you do the fifth?
Well, yeah, I do have,
Right,
I just picked up the wrong ones.
that's okay.
Thank you.
Yep, October 19th.
I stand corrected, October 19th. Does anybody have any questions or comments on that? Okay, then I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as they were submitted. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, is there any further discussion on the minutes? All those in favor? Any opposed? Thank you. We're now moving on to our agenda. Our first item is the Golden Grain Pizza. We've obviously had the public hearing, heard comments and so forth and so on. Their responsibility now is to, once we make all those comments for the record in the minutes of our meeting, your responsibility is to respond to each one of those in writing. And then we will review that at our next meeting. Hopefully we'll have it by our next meeting. And then have any questions or anything like that. Do you have any questions on some of the comments that were made to us? I know there was. Okay. I know there was a comment on potentially closing Oneida. That won't happen. Legally, I don't think that's an option that the town has. Am I correct on that, Wayne?
It's not something that is easy to do. There are certainly legalities involved with closing a road that was a through road. It's unlikely, plus you're up against the state highway. You're working in DOT right away. It's unlikely.
Well, we had a similar situation with the Hannaford site. They wanted to close off that back Duncan Lane.
Yeah.
And that was determined that we couldn't legally do that.
It's a public road, and closing it is probably not likely.
There's adequate signage though on that, on Oneida Avenue, like no through traffic and heavy trucks.
I mean, there are ways to limit the traffic going through there, like
The type
signage,
of-
no through traffic, no
Right.
trucks.
One thing I will note that this is an existing building, commercial building, and it has been vacant for, I don't know how many years now, at least 5 or 6 years, hasn't it? And certainly to, utilize this building and make it more user-friendly and or aesthetically pleasing for the highway, I think is a plus. So that's my personal opinion as a board member here. And the chemical issue, you had to do an environmental phase one at least on that property, didn't you? You didn't have to?
No, he purchased the property, there was no financing.
Okay.
Yeah, banks.
Banks require that, that's right, okay. But
You still
you,
had to do an environmental review in accordance with seeker. They did do screening through the EAF mapper summary report, and nothing was flagged.
okay.
Did somebody go in there and check for chemicals or?
No. There was no identification of any spills or any remediation sites around whether or not there's chemicals in the building. Mr. Costa had indicated that they removed all the chemicals through, through a company.
Well, it hasn't
When
been,
it was in operation, they didn't store
right,
used chemicals on site. They had it removed.
Yeah.
For
safety clean,
safety clean.
right, just to come on a weekly basis or whatever was needed. And they would remove and bring new supply of chemicals. But then the store, it was what's called a drop-off store for the last, I think, 7, 8 years, where they were doing the cleaning elsewhere, and it was being dropped off at this location. And I don't believe there was any chemicals there that entire time, that it was a drop-off store. So, right now, in the building itself, it's a vacant, empty building. There's nothing there. If you were to go in there, it's empty.
There seem to be a couple comments on the parking lot. We've already, reviewed the grading plan and some of the requirements for, drainage and so forth and so on. Do you have an idea of what the elevation is from, like, the highest elevation in the parking lot to the top of the hill in the back?
It's Wayne, could let me borrow the map. I don't bring, that's fine.
I mean, you indicated there was a slope, but,
Yeah.
I think there's probably a 10 to 15 foot
Yeah.
difference.
The elevation at the front of the parking is 92, and at the rear it's about 110 here. The high point is probably like 111, 112.
Okay.
So it's a substantial elevation difference.
Drops 14 feet just on the back side of the parking area.
And the stockade fence back there is,
It's not, the stockade fence is not on this parcel, it's on the garage parcel.
okay.
It's an existing stockade fence. It's not being removed.
So it's not on your property?
No, it's not.
Okay.
Our property is a wooded, it's a wooded area. And we're not clear cutting the entire lot. Whatever was not graded is gonna remain.
Do you have any idea how big of a strip would be back there that you're gonna leave?
Yeah.
I mean, just roughly, 20 feet or something?
That scale, I think a 10 scale, and I'm not used to looking at 10 scales, so it's hard for me to judge. I can measure that scale, but it's about The grading limits is about 15 feet away
Okay.
from the property.
You have no intentions of adding any type of shrubs or landscaping to that to go further block?
I'll talk to Zephyr and if we supplement that, Zephyr, would you be willing to supplement with some vegetation? New trees? Sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think that would probably satisfy the neighbor background a little bit more.
And we'll focus on that particular corner.
Okay. And I have no other questions. Does anybody else on the board have any questions? Wayne, do you have any questions?
At the last meeting, I was a little concerned about the drainage along Oneida Avenue, near that parking area. Whether or not a dry well would be sufficient to drain that area the way it's created. The plans were sent to Bill Bradley. Water Department, the stormwater
All right.
coordinator for the town. We did have a response that he did copy me on to Mr. Costa. He's a little concerned about water ponding on Oneida Avenue now. And made some suggestions to kind of mitigate that. Instead of draining that parking lot out onto Oneida Avenue, or in the right of way of Oneida Avenue with a dry well, Bill suggested maybe widening the parking area with some green space. The perimeter trench under drain that would discharge into the existing storm sewer. I don't know if Mr. Costa has had a chance to evaluate that, see if that's a viable solution.
I did, Wayne, and I did send that revised plan to Mr. Bradley. However, he was out, I think he just got back, so I haven't received a response from him. We did.
Can you send that to me?
Sure. Sure. I wanted for Bill to.
Yeah, Bill looked at it first.
So, I will send it to you tomorrow. But we're working with them to, particular suggestion. If that is a better solution.
Yeah, I mean, that was my biggest concern, was drainage. We've already vetted a lot of the other stuff, parking, and we've gone over the site plan already, we got comments, but that was the one outstanding issue that we needed to resolve.
Okay.
And I'm hoping that before the next meeting, we'll have that resolved from the bill. I'm sure he's catching up, with, whatever he had while he was out. I believe he was out of town. I tried to reach to him on the phone and connection.
Okay.
There hasn't been any other changes to the site plan since I was.
No, that's the only thing that we changed the bill suggested.
The lighting on the overflow parking, where are you gonna get the power from?
We'll bring the power. There's a power pole at the corner. Put a post, they're laying down the service and we'll put a post with a plywood with a meter.
On the lot on that side of the road?
Okay, just for the record, we did receive the response to the notification of zoning review action that we sent to the county, and basically having carefully reviewed the information. They have determined that the proposal does not have any major impact on county plans and that local consideration shall prevail. So you did receive that back. All right? You need a copy of that?
If you don't mind, you'd like to get a copy of it. You don't, I don't need it now.
This is it, right? Want me to go make a copy?
No, he can. Thank you. I just make everything.
I read it.
Okay, if there's no other further questions on this, we're gonna put you on the schedule for our next meeting, which is, here we go with the calendar.
16?
The 6th?
16.
16.
Okay, 16th of November. And at that time, hopefully you'll have the written responses to all the comments made at the public hearing. Hopefully we'll have Bill Bradley and Wayne have some weigh in on this drainage situation. So if you don't have any other questions, we'll see you on the 16th.
Was this sent to the fire department?
No, I haven't said it.
But generally, they like to look at it, they might want to knock box on the outside of this building possibly.
You
It's
got it?
not a problem.
Yeah, typically we send a set of plans for the review.
Unless Mike you said it. I didn't say it.
I didn't, Gus hasn't said anything about it, so.
Yeah, I would send it.
Yeah, I would just make a note of that.
Yeah.
Tomorrow I have one, see if she hasn't sent one over, send it over to him.
Very good.
Good catch on that, thank you. All right,
Thank you.
okay, thank you. Okay, next on our agenda is the Nato Panama request for zoning amendment. Mr. Morley? We are in the process now of going to review a draft, I believe, that on our recommendation to the town board on a zoning change. This time we can review that. We do have that already.
Most certainly.
I brought extra copies, so
Okay.
you may have seen it and reviewed it.
Did you email me that?
Yes,
I'm having trouble with some emails, so I didn't.
you did or did not?
I didn't.
I got it.
Well, glad someone got it. I thought everyone was on the,
There's 2 copies. All right. I take it this is a draft?
indeed, that it is. Now, why don't you take what?
Would you have a copy?
I do not.
Here, Mike.
Okay.
Would you like me to step through it, Russ?
You want?
I'm happy to.
Okay.
So this is the form, this was a draft put together based on your deliberations from the last meeting. We'll let the record note that it is in draft form. I did forward it to the review engineer for this particular project, Ron LaBerge. He's reviewed it. He had no comments on the content. It was forwarded to the planning board for review prior to tonight, but I'll step through it. It's in the form of the recommendations the board has historically used, so it simply reviews the fact that the petition for the rezoning of the parcel has been submitted. It seeks to rezone the parcel from its current district of industrial light to B15 zoning district classification. It does note the location, 291 Oakwood Avenue, and the tax map parcel number. As discussed by the board, it is a petition to rezone to B15, and even though a particular proposal has been set forth in the petition. When a municipality rezones to a different zoning district classification, there is the potential for any of the allowable uses in that district in the future. So the board did review the schedule of uses in the Brunswick zoning law, both the permitted uses and special permit uses, and considered that in your recommendation. It's been in front of you at a couple of meetings for deliberation on October 5th and October 19th. This proposes a series of findings that identifies the parcel. It notes that the parcel was originally a 2.71 acre parcel. August 20th, 2015, this board did grant site plan approval for the Diamond Rock Plaza. The Diamond Rock Plaza site plan approval included it says retain, I'm sorry, that's a typo, retail plaza on the southern portion of the site and a car wash on the northern portion of that site with access located off Oakwood Avenue. That is an approved site plan for the property. The retail plaza on the southern portion of the site was constructed. However, the owner, the petitioner here, reports to the planning board that there's not been success in finding a tenant for the car wash. The town of Brunswick did adopt its current zoning law in 2017, and as a result of that rezoning and amendments to the zoning map, the property was placed in the industrial light zoning district. That made the Diamond Rock Plaza a non-conforming use. Subsequent to that, in 2021, the owner did divide the property. It was in conjunction with the prior proposed use of the northern portion of the site. But as a result of that subdivision, the Diamond Rock Plaza now is two separate parcels, 289 Oakwood Avenue, about 1.5 acres on which the existing Diamond Rock Plaza retail building is located. And the current parcel at issue, 291 Oakwood Avenue, 1.19 acres. It's currently vacant. That's the parcel that's proposed for the rezone. As indicated, the owner or the petitioner here reports to the planning board that the rezoning to B15 would allow the parcel to be utilized for a proposed use, a potential tenant seeking to operate I put 9,000, 9,100, 9,000, I think 9,000 plus or minus square foot retail building.
Okay.
Just noting that while this is a proposal, rezoning to B15 could ultimately allow all of the permitted and special permit uses in the B15 zoning district. And that's why you went through that exercise and have not limited your review to that particular retail proposal. The parcel is the northernmost buildable lot along Oakwood Avenue, adjacent to the boundary of the city of Troy. In the event the property is rezoned to B15, and given the geographic location of the parcel within the town of Brunswick and within the industrial light zoning district, the rezoning would not result in a single isolated parcel centered within the industrial light zoning district. So this, as you made a point of us, this is really at the northern end of Oakwood Avenue within the town, and it will be one standalone parcel, but at the northernmost end of the industrial district. Properties located in Troy immediately west and north of the subject parcel include multifamily residential on the west, and also a number of existing retail businesses, both westerly and southerly. Parcel is immediately adjacent to the existing Diamond Rock Plaza retail building, and a zoning amendment to B15 zoning district would be consistent with that immediately adjacent land use. The current Diamond Rock Plaza site plan approval would allow the construction and operation of a commercial car wash on this northern parcel. Accordingly, the parcel is already approved for a commercial use. Planning board has reviewed all permitted and special permit uses allowed in the B15 zoning district and does not find that any such uses are out of character with the immediate area. It is also noted that the planning board has reviewed a concept plan for the 9,000 plus or minus square foot retail store with associated parking on the parcel and has not identified any significant issues of concern or concerns with the concept plan, noting that if in fact the rezone is approved, it would still be subject to detailed site plan review and seeker review by this board. So the recommendation would conclude, based on such findings, the planning board adopts a favorable recommendation concerning the granting of the requested zoning change classification from its current zoning district of industrial light to the requested zoning district of B15. It is reiterated that this recommendation pertains solely to the requested zoning amendment, and any specific development plan for the subject parcel will require site plan review and potentially special use permit review if the current proposal is not advanced. And associated environmental impact review under seeker by the planning board. I think that's consistent with your deliberation. If you want to add anything or change it, now would be your time to review and discuss that.
You did note obviously the one spelling error.
That will be corrected
That's all.
when we remove the draft order.
Nothing immediately comes to my mind as far as anything that is not here that we've discussed. Anybody have any comments? Anything else they wish to add? Maybe change one of the paragraphs? Dave, Linda,
Yeah,
you good? Okay. We need to make
Just a motion to adopt this recommendation and direct that it be forwarded to the town board.
okay, I will make that motion.
Second.
Second, is there any further discussion on this? Thank you, Randy, for doing this, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. This will be forwarded to, and at this point, their next meeting will be when?
Well, there is a meeting scheduled for next week, but we'll coordinate with the town board on that agenda. But we'll send this out tomorrow.
And until this is adopted, assuming it's adopted, there's no further action on the planning board until we review the site plan, is that correct?
That's correct.
You have are you working on a formal site plan?
No, we haven't gone beyond trying to get the zoning change first. So, we had a couple of questions. I had a call from the fire department. They want to know, they want to be involved in it, which we'll keep them involved in it.
Right. Okay. Then, I guess we'll just have to wait and see, what the, town board decides and, schedule for a site plan review.
Did Mercer County ever get back to us?
Yes. Give me a second. What time? I don't have it printed. I have it electronically. I will send it over. He did receive it back, and my recollection is not the Dock County plans and local consideration.
Thank you.
I'll get that over to you.
All right. Okay, that concludes our regular agenda. We do have some new business, possibly some old. So, our new business would be, we received a site plan review for the Walmart store on Hoosick Street. This is strictly a site plan amendment. They want to take I guess what do they call that? the parking that was developed in front of the store for, we used to call it takeout, but it's
I think it's like grocery pickup.
takeout, okay. Are you here for Walmart?
Yes, sir.
Oh, okay. Why don't you come on up? Join the meeting.
Thank you. My name is Morris Calvert, with Blueberry Engineers, representing the Walmart on the project. And what you just described is exactly what we're requesting. There are a number of pickup stalls in the front of the building. And as part of the recent remodel of the store, we're requesting that they be relocated around to the side and then a few more added.
This is a clarification for the board. This is not the full amended site that you want to do with the other items as far as the storage units and everything like that.
Correct. We received a letter after the last town board meeting from the town attorney that said just the parking could go through the planning board. The other things still,
Yeah,
the other two things still need to go through the PED process with the town board.
okay.
Correct. So this is just the pickup part.
Can everybody understand that? That they just want to relocate the pickup area off to the side.
Correct.
Yeah, I believe that would be identified as where they usually keep like the mulch and all that kind of stuff in the summertime.
That's correct. So it's on the north side along that fence.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions on this?
What was that originally on the original site plan?
Just standard parking. So now it would be designated for pickup.
So it's parking.
It was parking and will be parking.
So the canopies were taken down and everything like that,
Canopy is gone, yes.
and now it's just gonna be reverted back to your standard parking.
Exactly right. So the front will be converted back to standard. The pickup parking will be along the side and, no canopy, no structure associated with that. It's just some striping and signage changes.
Okay.
Appears to be significantly more spaces now.
It's 26 now is what's proposed.
Is there a need for, you've seen a
There
real
is,
increase for
yes.
that?
Yes, since we all became acquainted with COVID, this has become a very popular operation. So typically, originally, we were doing 8 to 10 spaces. Some stores, we request up to 45. So this is kind of in the middle.
Are there any delivery doors on that west side?
So
of the building?
the door that's over there, the only door that's over there there's no delivery doors. There is a door for the Walmart associates who would bring everything out to the customers, but no delivery.
But tractor trailers will still take that route and deliver it to the rear.
They will take that route to get to the truck docks in the rear or to leave the truck docks in the rear. That's correct.
And is there a need for bollards around that? I'm assuming that's an exit ramp, but maybe not, maybe it's that great. I'm not sure where the door is.
There is a small ramp on the side.
So you have bollards in the rear or the, would you need bollards around the ramp?
It's an elevated concrete ramp.
Okay.
There are no bollards. We didn't have any bollards proposed. So certainly,
It's just a question, right?
sure.
Is the one exit for delivery to the cars? Is that enough, or are you planning on maybe putting a second one further?
It would be the one where the crosswalk shown.
Yeah.
That will be the
That's
one.
it?
That's it.
Okay.
So that's it. It's like a slider door.
Okay.
So,
Might not be a bad idea to put a couple ballards there, so if a person walks out of the store, they're not gonna be able to see somebody coming.
well, when they walk out, they'll be elevated on the
How
top of the
much?
ramp. So it's about probably 12 to 15 inches. So it's kind of, it comes out kind of on a stoop and then the ramp turns down. But that's detailed on the architectural plans, and I didn't provide those, so. I can get specific details, but if bollards are what's needed, we can certainly.
I just hate to see somebody get,
Sure.
What are the hours for pickup?
6 AM until 10.
10 PM? So we have, the person that comes out is gonna cross that crosswalk and then go to any car that's requesting the, and where would they be walking? In the roadway, or are they walking in front of cars, behind cars?
So the intent is to cross at the crosswalk, which is at the bottom of the ramp, and then walk behind the parking stalls to get to whichever car is there for the service.
So we walk behind cars.
Correct.
And we have adequate lighting the whole length of that?
The lighting, yes, there has been a lighting study done.
The people that going in here, can they come in from either side? Can they go around the building and come in into their spot or their slot?
From the rear,
Yeah.
there's nothing preventing that.
Okay.
The intent is for them to follow the signage that's shown on that front page, but there's nothing preventing anyone from coming from the rear.
You know, realistically, this is basically a two-way.
Sure.
Plus the fact you'll have tractor trailers going around there also. Now, just explain to me, when a person comes in here, he's assigned a slot that he goes into?
So how it works is when the order is ready to be picked up, the customer comes on site, and through the app, you can either use an app on your phone or call, but they're not assigned a space. They choose their own space and either through the app, let the store know what space they're in, or call them, there'll be a number on the sign, call that number and tell the associate that answers what space they parked in.
Okay. All right.
So on an average day, how many do you have? Would you guess?
How many orders? So right now we are cut down a little bit because we are dispensing out of Florida because we're not utilizing those spaces yet. With our remodel, we did get an added space for more orders. We can go up to 250 orders, and we want to be able to provide a larger amount to the community by getting that expanded space. So we could potentially go to 300 orders a day. Because we also have the express pickups that the third-party drivers come and pick up and then deliver to people's houses. So we have a lot of variety with that now. And with the added
And
spaces that
for the
was,
record, you are.
I'm the asset protection coach
Okay.
for Walmart.
Okay.
So the width of that double road, I just want to make sure that for folks to walk there without being.
Sure.
That's all. I'm concerned about that, that's all.
Sure. I can, since that was existing, we didn't show a dimension, we didn't want it to be confused as something that was proposed, but I can find a dimension for that and let you know.
When does Walmart receive most of their deliveries from the tractor trailers?
Normally in the morning, we get a couple of deliveries in the morning and then a couple at like 8 p.m., 7 p.m.
So there's the potential for some conflict points there between delivery trucks and your employees actually that are crossing the road and walking behind cars.
Yes, but when the tractor trailers, they have to come around the back side of the building, and I'm out there a lot, especially last year when we did have the trailers on site. They come around the corner very slow because there are people who come and go around the building as well. So they are very cautious with coming around the building.
Is there signage there? Keep them going slow or to alert them to crossings there?
There is signage for the crossing, yes.
Are your folks required to wear high visibility?
Yes, yes, and as the AP coach, I am all over them when it comes to that.
Yeah, I don't see a need for any of your customers to get out of their vehicles.
Correct.
So the only pedestrian traffic per se would be the people delivering, your people delivering to the park.
Right.
Yes. The only time they get out is to
How
open
many
their
people
trunk.
do you have to do that? At any given time, could there be 10 workers out there on the street?
We normally have 4 to 6 dispensers at a time.
Oh,
Sometimes they go out in doubles if it's a large order and they need help. So they go out in pairs to help load the cars.
so you're saying that usually around maximum of 6 people would be out in that pedestrian
Yeah.
area?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, do with a cart, without a cart, just by hand?
With a dolly.
No.
That's why the van will help them with getting in and out.
How do they pay for the order?
It's all through the app.
So there's no credit cards or cash or anything?
Nothing happens at the site.
This should be safer than what you were doing before crossing
Crossing the
For us in
front.
the main, yes.
the pharmacy pickup still gonna be out in the parking lot?
I don't think we're doing the pharmacy pickup anymore.
So you cut that out?
I think that was mainly during COVID and then after a
I
fire.
don't think that was from the fixture.
Now, these blue pickups, I assume this is where you would have signage, directional signage?
Correct, to direct the customer from the right of way to get to the park.
What you had here before, but it was directing them to the old pickup.
That's right, same thing, just to the new location.
Okay. All right. Anyone else have any questions? Wayne, do you have any additional questions? Nina, do you have any questions? Ann?
I do not, but just one procedural issue, which is, this is within 500 feet of the state highway. So the site plan does need to procedurally get sent to the county for review and recommendations. It needs to be sent over.
Okay. And procedurally, we would have to put them on our regular agenda
Correct.
and then proceed. Technically, you're not on our agenda, so we couldn't take any action tonight anyway.
Okay.
So, we could schedule it, well, they have 30 days to respond.
They
The county
do,
does.
the county can be cooperative, that they indicate it's your agenda for potentially November 16.
Okay.
They don't need to respond prior to that, but usually they're pretty good.
And there is no public hearing on this. I think it's our discretion.
That's correct, it's your discretion.
Is it, do you really think there's a need to have a public hearing on that? Right?
Guess I'd like to go look at, see if you need ballards or not. I mean, I'm not sure you need them. I'll swing by
Sure,
before the next meeting,
sure.
before you start putting them.
And that's certainly something that we'll happily add it.
So we will.
And we can even do that without you stopping by, that would
Oh, that,
help things move along.
some days I have to go for a ride. Even to Walmart.
All right, then we will put you on the agenda for our next meeting, scheduled for the 16th of November. And hopefully we'll have a response from the county.
Great.
And be able to proceed along.
Okay.
All right?
And then just my curiosity, would action be able to be taken at that time to either approve or?
Dependent on the county.
Sure,
Yes.
of course.
Yeah. Procedurally, yes, within the discretion of the
Yes,
board.
that's how it should have been.
No problem. We'll try to move it along.
Very good.
All right?
Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome.
Thank you.
Isn't there a Newberry office closer than Virginia?
Yes, there is. But I do the Walmart stuff, so.
Okay.
You'll be in
But yes, there
Texas
is.
So you came up from Virginia?
Yes, sir. My office is in Danville,
All right, so we'll see if we can accommodate these, minimize these journeys north.
He likes it.
Yeah. It's getting the,
You just
it's
come
getting
on
to be
the
nice weather.
coldest day of the year, so
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
2 weeks from now, it's gonna be 10 degrees.
Is there any old business? Any new business? Any other business? Any? All
Old
right, then.
business, they built a house on the corner of, whatever that was, Creek, not Creek.
Sharp, right?
Sharp Road? They built a house there?
For sale.
Yeah. Nothing in the development.
Yeah.
Nothing in the actual subdivision, but they did build on the corner. It's not a heck of a lot of yard, but there's a house there.
There's a lot of people that just drive in the garage and they never go outside, so.
Just to review our agenda for the 16th. Obviously, it's the Golden Wing Pizza. Hopefully, we'll have all the information we need to move forward on that. And the other one is the Walmart follow-up on the 16th also. So I don't have anything else. Does anybody else have anything? They're still out on the veterinarian hospital. That day we haven't received anything new on that. And Matto Pato is, that's on hold for us until it's approved by the town. So. Okay, if there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Anybody want to make that motion today?
I'll make a motion.
All right,
A second.
we have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Maybe and I have to